What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first ever episode of The Rich Life. I am your host, Brianna Richardson, also known as BRich. Here on The Rich Life, we are going to talk about lifestyle habits, fitness, mindset, and everything else in between. I want the listener to have a rich life, a rich mind, rich body, and rich spirit. So, a little bit about me. On this journey, I'll share some of my own experiences and what has shaped me to be the person that I am now today, sitting in front of you, talking to you, spitting game. You know what it is. Yeah. Okay, so I started my fitness journey, you can say, when I was 10 years old. I've ran track just about my whole life. I ran all the way up into my collegiate years. In college, that's what really sparked I guess, the passion for fitness and movement, and just lifestyle and mindset. That's when I really became interested in those things, and interested in learning more about it, and how how us as humans, how we interact with those things and respond to those things as it relates to our lives. So one particular situation that happened when I was competing in college is that I was really suffering mentally. Didn't really know the reason why. I thought it was for one situation, but really I had to dig deeper, and the reason that my performance was suffering was because of situations that happened down when I was younger and in my past, and it was reflecting now in my collegiate years in my performance on the track. So one thing that my coach suggested to me is to go speak to our sports psychologist, and that opened up a whole new world for me. I was able to begin to talk to him. We uncovered some things, and it started kind of to just evolve. And I just started to grow, and I just started to, uncover some of that stuff that had been holding me down, some of that stuff that had been affecting my mindset and affecting my performance. So after that, just seeing how much talking to a professional helped me to grow as a person and just start discovering some things about myself that changed me forever. So ever since then, I've been like a mindset stinkler. I've been really just involved in the whole person, the whole being. Many times we make mistakes and just think we're this or we're that. At that time, I just thought I was a track star or a track runner, but I was able to dig deeper and see the different levels of Brianna, and see how certain situations affected what I did now. In addition to me putting my identity in track, I also put my identity in academics. And at the time, my academics and track was suffering at the time. So, I thought that was a reflection of me as a person. As a person, I just started suffering altogether because my two main identities were suffering at that time. Once I wasn't able to in college, differentiate that. Even though that mindset work, it kept going. I wasn't able to differentiate that until after college. More experiences came, and I had to stop tying my identity, my being, my person into stuff that I did. I do those things, but I am not those things. And my performance in those things does not reflect who I am as a person. So that opened up that world for me, and it allowed me to start developing and start changing and start digging deeper. So that's kind of how I got involved in the mindset part of things. And then the physical part of things, like I said, I've ran track since I was a little girl, and I've always been active. So it was just automatically a passion of mine to continue that lifestyle and help other people into that lifestyle. Now, the other part of things is I see so many people in the world struggling, so many people who just don't know that there is more to them, there is more inside of them, and I want to help uncover those things. I want to help people to know that there is more in life. They are not the situations that they've gone through. Their identity is not stuck in those things. Their identity doesn't have to be tied to those things. Rather, in the situations that they've been through, we can separate ourselves from those things. So I want to help people to just see beyond circumstances, see beyond who they've always been, see beyond what the world around them looks like and what they think is available to them. So that is one of my main goals. That is the reason why I do what I do. And that's personal training, coach. That is the reason why I'm so passionate about those things, because I myself, as I told you just now, I used to be one of those people suffering. I used to be one of those people who just thought that life is and that's just all to it. Now, I know that I can structure my life. I know that there is more that I can achieve. There is more I can grasp onto. There is more that I can just accomplish, and everything I need is inside of me. Only thing is, I just have to hone those things. I just have to be willing to do the hard work, and I have to be willing to go deep and dive deep and uncover those things in order to get where I want to go. And guess what? I am not there all the way yet. So I want you to take this journey with me as we discover self, as we develop self, as we get stronger, as we get wiser, as we uncover the depths of us. We are complex beings. We are beautiful beings. We are wonderful beings. And there's so much more to us than what the physical is, or what just comes up in immediately to us. We're going to be diving deep here. We're going to have good conversations. We're going to have tough conversations. We're going to have fun conversations, because guess what? I'm a fun person, you know? We're even going to have guests on so they can share their experience, and it won't just be one-sided me, you know? So this is what you can look forward to in this. So now that we got that stuff out the way, let's dive into our next section. Picture this. It's 2019, December 31st, 2019 to be exact. Everyone's excited. We're about to enter into the new year. We have 2020 vision. This year about to be off the chain. We're about to experience the best year of our life. Then January 2020 rolls around. FYI, my birthday's in January 26th to be exact. That date rings a bell, because that's the day that the legend Kobe Bryant was tragically killed. The day of my birthday, already setting a tone for the year. Then, if you're from New Orleans like me, we proceed to Mardi Gras. Two crazy deaths during Mardi Gras by floats. Proceed. Here comes March. Oh my. Global pandemic. We're all in disarray. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're all confused. Nobody has ever experienced this on this large of a scale before. It's just crazy, straight pandemonium. As we keep going through the months, we see people losing their lives. We see people just going through things. We're stuck in the house. We're going through things we've never had to go through. We're stuck with people. You know, we usually get a break from people, get to escape a little bit. But oh, not this year. We thought that we was going to just be living our best lives. Things was going to be falling in place for us. Nah, it ain't happen like that. But what I can say is, through all the pandemic, all that has transpired this year, with the social justice movement, with the president election, all of that craziness, just straight craziness all this year. Like this year has been had enough action for like a decade. So we're not having any action anymore. 2020 had enough for all those years, you know. But anyway, I digress. Um, I want to talk to you about things that I learned through 2020, through all those things that transpired, losing greats, going through a pandemic, going through the election, and just life happening. I want to share some of the things that I learned, some of the things that have helped shape me going into the new year 2021. Okay, so one of the things 2020 taught me is that you have to believe and support yourself. Everybody, no matter how long you've known them, no matter what you've done together in the past, or whatever the case is, everyone isn't going to support you, and everyone isn't going to have the same fire and passion and belief in what you are doing that you have. You cannot let that deter you. You cannot let that throw you off your track or discourage you. You have to support you. You have to keep going no matter what it looks like, no matter what everything looks like, what everybody is saying. You have to keep going, because at the end of the day, that vision, that dream, that passion, whatever it is yours. God, the higher power, whatever you believe in, gave it to you. So use it. It is in you to use it. It is in you to bring it to fruition and to manifest whatever it is. So believe in you, support you. I had to learn that lesson this year. The next thing is to enjoy the process. The process is where the magic is. The process is where you get most of your learning done. The process is where you have growth, because you're having to adapt. You're having to grow. We always focus on the outcome or what the result is going to be. The result, that thing is like, it's fleeting almost. Like you get to it and you're like, okay, what's next? The process, you spend way more time in the process. You spend way more time getting to that thing. So I've really learned to enjoy the process while I'm still learning it. But now it's just kind of more so at the front of my mind. Forefront. Whoa, what did I just say? It's more so at the forefront of my mind. It's I haven't quite mastered it, I'm getting there, and I'm probably, it's still gonna be a process for me. It's a process learning to grasp and to accept the process, so I am learning to enjoy the process, learning to grow, learning to really get the lessons that I'm supposed to get in the process. The next thing I learned is to take full responsibility for my own actions. Things that I've done, decisions that I've made, it is my decision. It was my fault that thing happened. So take responsibility of it. Blaming others doesn't do anything. It is your fault. You did it. Take responsibility for it. Own it. And acknowledge them. Sometimes we make mistakes and we mess up, and it just happens. We're human. It's life. It happens. It doesn't always make us a bad person. It doesn't always make us, it just doesn't always have to make us a bad person. It could be because we made that mistake or because we chose that decision. But what does give you power is when you acknowledge it, when you own it, and when you decide that you take responsibility for it and you're going to move on from it. The next thing I learned is to always be clear and concise. Have effective communication. It helps both people. It helps you and it helps the other person. Sometimes you may even have to over communicate or revisit it multiple times. I had to learn that, especially as I've grown this year and learned myself a little bit more. I need clarity. I need like I don't know if it can get more clear than clarity. You know, like I want you to tell me. I want you to say it. I want you to be specific. I want you to go in depth. I need all of that. So, and then with that, I have to be able to do the same thing. I have to be able to communicate effectively. I have to be able to be as clear as possible and don't leave no room for guessing. Don't leave no room for error and all of that, because we've both made ourselves clear. We both have said what we need to say, and we have those expectations. Be clear on your expectations. Be clear on what it is that you're saying. My next thing is to create something that lives beyond me. What triggered this thought is when Chadwick Boseman, when he died, that was like, you know, a big shock. It was a big punch in the gut for a lot of us, because, you know, he had been still acting, he had been still living out his regular life, and we didn't know that he was suffering in that way. And, you know, people had speculated things like he's getting ready for a movie, he's sick and all that, but he, you know, he never said anything. But yeah, that was a total blow. So when he passed away, it just made me really feel like I need to create something that lives beyond me. We have so many of his movies. He's made such a huge impact on this earth in his 43 years of living, and then his like, what it was like 15 years or something like that of him acting, something like that. I just pulled that number out of the sky. It might not be right, but anyway, he made an impact in that amount of time that he was on our TV screens. And so many other people who have died suddenly and unexpectedly this year. You want to leave something on this earth that is going to live beyond you, your legacy, something that is going to be your legacy, and something that people are going to be able to still talk about, something that people are going to be able to revisit along the way. So create something that lives beyond you. Create something. Don't leave this earth with all that you have. Release that into the world. Okay, so I also learned that to have meaningful relationships, you have to dive deeper. I'm one of those people where I don't really like small talk. Like, I like to get into the meat of it. But with me getting to the meat of it, I don't think I was quite going as deep as I would have liked to be, I guess, in order to have those deeper relationships and more meaningful relationships. So this year I really learned that in order for me to have those deep relationships, I had to myself go deeper. I had to, well, you know what? Thinking about it now, I was expecting people to go deep, but I don't think I was returning it to them, or like I would just had that expectation in my head, like I don't want this relationship to be surface level, but I never made that clear. So that goes back to my communication piece. Yeah. But yes, I crave meaningful, deep relationships. Like, I don't just want to know what you did today, every day. Like, I want to know, like, what inspires you, why you behave certain ways, or what happened to you when you were younger that makes you now respond the way you do, or, you know, like what do you plan on to do in your future? What are some things that you want to manifest, you know, in the next 20 years, 10 years, you know? I want to learn more about you in those ways. I want to learn about your emotions deeper. I want to learn how you're feeling, rather than you just say, you know, I'm not feeling good, or I'm sad, I just don't want to talk right now. Let's go deeper in that. Let's dive deeper. So I learned that I crave meaningful and deeper relationships. The next thing I learned is living in a comfort zone chokes out dreams, and it chokes out your productivity. This year, ooh, child, the comfort zone was real. I would say in the beginning of the year, the comfort zone was real. And even so a little bit now. Like I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to barrel through some of these things. But I am taking action. So round of applause for me. But yes, being in your comfort zone chokes out your dreams. It's just a place. I've seen this quote a couple times this year. Your comfort zone is where your dreams go to die. Your brain, your body, by nature wants to always be comfortable, wants to not have to be in a fight or flight, situation. So our brains try to protect us against those situations, and what ends up happening is we just, like I said in the beginning, we just get stuck living our regular, normal lives, the life that we've been used to, the life that's always been, the life that we've seen our families have, the life that we've seen people around us have. We just think that's normal. We think it's comfortable, so that's just what we choose to stick in. But when we push those boundaries of our comfort zone, we're able to accomplish so many other things. Like this right here, right now, sitting in front of you, talking to you, sharing my experiences. I would have never done this before because my comfort zone. Nobody wants to hear from you. Nobody cares what you have to say. Why even do that? People not gonna respond. Comfort zone. No more to the CZ, no. And then productivity. When you're feeling like you can't accomplish anything, when you're feeling like nobody wants to hear from you, when you're feeling like you have nothing to offer, that stuff, it chokes out productivity. Like with stress and depression, when you're in those states, your mind, your body doesn't want to do anything. You just want to stay in what you're you just want to stay in what you're currently feeling. I do that a lot. Y'all gonna learn that. I get tongue tied, I get excited, and it just whatever. That's me. That's the real me. But when you're in those states, you don't want to do anything at all. And your body is okay with that. Your body is okay with staying where you are. When you're in those states, you don't have creative ideas. When you're in those states, you don't want to be around anybody. So that's just, all of that is an adverse effect to how we really want to be, how we really want to show up in the world. So learning how to push beyond my comfort zone, learning how to push beyond those states of depression and stress and all of that, that all helps to be productive, to show up in the world, to be creative, to be able to share with people. So that to the comfort zone in 2021. That's all I gotta say. Another lesson that I've learned this year is to make sure that I am investing in myself. This year, I've invested in myself more than I've ever done before. I've really began to follow like some mindset people and more influential people and like millionaires and billionaires. And one of the common things that they say they do is they invest in themselves. See, there it goes again. But those people are spending thousands of dollars on themselves, maybe millions of dollars on themselves a year, to make their lives better, investing in themselves in order to grow more. Even millionaires and billionaires, they even know that there is still always something to be learned. There is still always something to improve your lifestyle. So they invest in themselves, and they spend money on themselves. So I've learned that if you want to go to different dimensions and different levels, and reach different people, then you have to invest in yourself. Simple as that. And this year I've made some pretty costly investment in myself that I'm really glad I did. So here's to investing more in myself in 2021, and just getting to know me more and getting to really become the person that I want to become. So, next thing, keep your relationship with God or whatever being that you serve, whatever, keep your relationships with the spiritual strong. Whether that's praying, whether that's meditating, whether that's affirming yourself, or whatever the case is, make sure that you keep that relationship strong. There it is again. Make sure you keep that relationship strong so you can draw from that source. As beings, we are spiritual. No matter who you believe in, what you believe in, we have a spiritual component to us that, just like our natural body needs to be fed, our spiritual body needs to be fed as well. So make sure that you are feeding that spiritual being and that you're drawing from that higher power source. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that one. This is a big one. Prepare and have a plan for the unexpected, which sounds totally wild, which sounds totally crazy, but 2020 has taught us that a pandemic or whatever can hit at any time and just throw us completely off our game. Take some of our source of income away. It could take our relationships away from us. Plan for the unexpected. Even if like just have something in place to where you can draw from, whether it's a separate account, whether it's different ways to reaching your family and friends. Just make sure that you have some kind of plan for unexpected things. Because 2020 was a big teacher of that. None of us was expecting a pandemic. None of us was expecting to be stuck inside at home. None of us was expecting to not have our regular routines, or to be stuck with even people that we love. Some of us were stuck with people that we love, and we're just like, oh no, this is... So have a plan to escape. Have a plan to escape into another room, or have a plan to be able to draw from a different account, financial account, just whatever the case is, or going to grocery stores, anything, just have a plan. So like if something like this does happen again, we know, you're better prepared. And then planning and preparation kind of takes some of that guesswork out of things as well. So that's a bonus one right there. Planning and preparation takes the guesswork out, and it kind of takes away it takes some of that brain power that you could be using for something else. It takes that guesswork and stuff out of that. So yes, plan ahead. The next thing I learned this year is to support others. The law of reciprocity is real, because you're going to want somebody to support you one day for something that you have. Sometimes it costs us nothing to just support somebody, especially in the age of social media. Sometimes all it takes is a like or a share of a profile or a repost. Support people, even if you can't give money. If you can give money, support people at full price as well. Let's stop trying to get over on people, or trying to pay them less than what they're worth, or less than what their product is worth. So the law of reciprocity is very real. I want to be able to give back and support others, even if I'm not going to be looking for other people to return it, but I am going to or I learned this year that I have to support others. And the last one that I have is do what brings you joy. This year has been full of so much hurt, so much of uncertainty, so much stress, so much depression, just so much craziness, it's just been a crazy year. That's how I can wrap it up. Like I said earlier, it's just enough events have happened this year to be enough for the next 10 years, you know? So do what brings you joy. Find things that bring you joy and commit to doing at least one of those things every day. Life is too short for us to be unhappy. Life is too precious, you know, for us not to do the things that we enjoy. Even when we are pressed and in hard times, we can still make the best out of it. We can have joy no matter what everything looks like around us, no matter what people are going through around us. We can still choose to have joy. We can still choose to walk in that peace. We can still choose to walk in our love, you know? So do something every day that brings you joy. For me, I know things that bring me joy. I like having a glass of wine. I like going to sit at the park, sitting in nature. I like talking and just sitting with family and friends, journaling, just things like that. I love those things. Those things bring me just absolute peace and serenity and joy. So I try to do more of those things. We don't have to live in a suffering state all our lives. The struggle shouldn't be natural. The struggle should not be something that we're just okay with being in. The struggle is not what we were put on this earth to do. We can have joy no matter how much money we have, no matter how much resources we have. We can have joy no matter what. So do what brings you joy. That was a big one this year with so many things going on. I had to choose that I wanted joy. I had to find those things that brought me joy, and I had to commit to them and go after them every day. Because, you know, every day is a clean slate. We may experience something from one day to another, and sometimes what brings you joy one day is not going to bring you joy the other day. So that's when you have to be adaptable, and you have to change, you know, on the fly, and get out of that comfort zone and thinking that what works there is going to work here. So yeah, joy down in my soul. Yes. But yeah, those are the things that 2020 has taught me. And those are the things that I'm going to bring into 2021 with me, because I don't want to just learn those lessons and then just forget about them. I want to apply those lessons to my life. I want to make sure that I am applying them so that I can have a better life. For me, it's all about evolving. It's all about growing. It's all about becoming rich, having a rich life overall. I don't just want, you know, to have the money. I want to have a rich, fulfilled life overall. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of The Rich Life with BRich. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next podcast next week. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you tell a friend about it. Make sure you share it on your social media. What is social? Make sure you share it on your social media platforms as well, to make me more discoverable and to impact more people's lives. So this has been the first episode of The Rich Life, and like I love to say, go out there and be rich.